Hello everyone and welcome back to another movie recap. Today we're diving into one of the most heartwarming and emotionally powerful films ever made, I Am Sam. Imagine being told that you aren't smart enough to raise your own child, even though you love her more than anyone else in the world. This is the unforgettable story of a father with the mind of a 7-year-old who must fight an emotional court battle to keep the one person he lives for, his beloved daughter. It's a touching journey filled with love, sacrifice, heartbreak, and hope that will make you laugh, cry, and rethink what it truly means to be a parent. Let's get started. The story begins in Los Angeles, California, where a kind-hearted man named Sam works at a neighborhood coffee shop. His responsibilities include serving customers, cleaning the cafe, and helping wherever he's needed. Although Sam has an intellectual disability and learns more slowly than most people, he is honest, hardworking, and always gives his best. His cheerful attitude and dedication earn the genuine respect of his manager and co-workers. One ordinary day, Sam receives life-changing news from a hospital. He's about to become the father of a baby girl. Overcome with excitement, he hurries through the streets of Los Angeles, eager to meet his daughter for the very first time. When he arrives, he finds a young woman named Rebecca in labor. Seeing her in pain, Sam instinctively tries to comfort her, but the medical staff gently asks him to wait outside. After what feels like an eternity, a nurse finally places a newborn baby girl into his arms. The moment Sam looks into her tiny face, his life changes forever. Filled with unconditional love, he silently promises to give her the happiest life he possibly can. He names her Lucy, inspired by his favorite Beatles song, Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds. But that joyful moment doesn't last long. After Rebecca is discharged from the hospital, Sam walks beside her while carrying their newborn daughter. When they arrive at a bus stop, Rebecca quietly steps onto a bus without saying a word. She never looks back. As the bus pulls away, Sam stands frozen in disbelief, holding baby Lucy tightly in his arms. From that heartbreaking moment on, he becomes the little girl's only parent. Despite having no experience raising a child, Sam refuses to give up. He learns how to prepare baby formula, change diapers, comfort Lucy when she cries, and take care of her every single day. He buys bottles, diapers, clothes, and everything else he believes his daughter might need. Although caring for a newborn is far from easy, Sam never complains. His greatest challenge comes whenever Lucy cries uncontrollably. No matter how hard he tries, he often struggles to understand what she needs. Fortunately, an elderly neighbor named Annie notices his difficulties and kindly offers to help. She patiently teaches Sam how to feed a baby, establish a daily routine, and care for Lucy properly. Thanks to Annie's guidance, Sam gradually becomes more confident, and before long, Lucy begins sleeping peacefully through the night. Sam also shares a close friendship with several people who, like him, have intellectual disabilities. Despite the challenges they face, they are loyal, caring, and always ready to support one another. Together, they become an extended family, surrounding Sam and Lucy with kindness and unconditional friendship. As the years pass, Lucy grows into a bright, curious, and lovable little girl. She asks endless questions about the world around her and learns remarkably fast. Watching her grow fills Sam with pride. But as Lucy becomes older and more intelligent, a difficult question begins to emerge. How can a father with the mind of a child keep up with a daughter who's growing smarter every day? And more importantly, will love alone be enough to keep their little family together? Although Sam often struggled to explain complicated things, Lucy always seemed to understand him better than anyone else. Every night, she would curl up beside her father, listening to his gentle voice before peacefully falling asleep in his arms. One evening, Lucy quietly asked about her mother. Never wanting to lie to his daughter, Sam told her the truth. Her mother's name was Rebecca, a homeless young woman, briefly entered Sam's life. After they spent time together, she became pregnant with Lucy. After Lucy was born, however, Rebecca walked away, leaving Sam to raise their daughter alone. Instead of feeling angry or abandoned, Lucy came to appreciate her father even more. She knew he wasn't like other dads, but she also knew that no one could ever love her as deeply as he did. As the years went by, the two became inseparable. Sam spent every free moment with Lucy, taking her to playgrounds, pushing her on the swings, playing games, and sharing countless happy memories together. They also visited their favorite neighborhood restaurants so often that it became part of their weekly routine. Each night before bed, they read their favorite children's book, Green Eggs and Ham. That simple bedtime tradition became one of Lucy's happiest childhood memories. Eventually, Lucy reached school age. Wanting her first day of school to be special, Sam hoped to buy her a brand new pair of shoes. Unfortunately, his modest income wasn't enough. When Sam's close friends learned about the situation, they each contributed what little money they had. Together they managed to buy the shoes Lucy needed. The smile on Lucy's face made every sacrifice worthwhile. As Sam and his friends proudly walked beside her on the way to school, they looked less like neighbors and more like one big loving family. Although Lucy was still young, she understood that her father was different from most parents. Because of that, she often acted far more mature than children her age, quietly doing everything she could to support him. One day, Lucy asked if they could try eating hamburgers at a different restaurant instead of visiting the same place every week. Sam hesitated. He found comfort in familiar routines and rarely liked unexpected changes. Sensing his discomfort, Lucy immediately smiled and said they could keep going to their usual restaurant instead. To her, the restaurant never really mattered. Being with her father was all she cared about. Whenever they were at home, they enjoyed spending time together at the piano, filling their days with music, laughter, and precious memories. After Lucy started school, she brought home a reading book and eagerly asked her father to read it with her. Sadly, Sam struggled with many of the words because of his intellectual disability. Rather than feeling embarrassed, Lucy patiently helped him sound out each letter, encouraging him one word at a time. Eventually, she realized the book was becoming too difficult for him. With a gentle smile, she put it aside and picked up their favorite story, Green Eggs and Ham, allowing them to enjoy their special bedtime tradition once again. That night, after Lucy had fallen asleep, Sam quietly visited the public library to practice reading and writing by himself. He wasn't doing it for his own sake. He simply wanted to become a better father and make Lucy proud. While he was studying, a prostitute approached and started talking to him. Misunderstanding her intentions, Sam believed she was only trying to be friendly. Moments later, police officers arrived and arrested everyone involved in the area. Although Sam had done nothing wrong and had no idea what was happening, he was taken to the police station, photographed, and questioned like everyone else. Unfortunately, the incident soon attracted the attention of Margaret Calgrove, the social worker responsible for child welfare. After reviewing Sam's background and observing his intellectual limitations, she began questioning whether he was truly capable of raising a young daughter on his own. For the first time, someone was preparing to challenge the one thing Sam treasured most. And without realizing it, the hardest battle of his life was about to begin. The following day, Sam was asked to attend a meeting at Lucy's school. During the meeting, the principal showed him a drawing Lucy had recently made. In the picture, Lucy had drawn herself much larger than her father. The teachers explained that the drawing might reveal something deeper. It suggested that Lucy saw herself as the more mature and responsible one in their relationship. They were also worried that Lucy was deliberately holding herself back in school. Rather than reaching her full potential, she seemed to be limiting herself so she wouldn't surpass her father. Those words broke Sam's heart. That evening, after they returned home, Sam encouraged Lucy to read the new book she had received from school. But Lucy quietly refused. She admitted that she didn't want to read books her father couldn't read himself. Sam gently smiled and told her something she would never forget. He said that if she became smarter than him one day, he wouldn't feel ashamed. He would be proud. His heartfelt words touched Lucy deeply. She finally opened the book and began reading aloud. To Sam's amazement, she read every page with confidence and ease. It became clear that Lucy had never lacked ability. She had only been hiding her intelligence because she didn't want her father to feel left behind. As Sam listened with pride, the two peacefully drifted off to sleep together that night. A few days later, Lucy asked if they could eat at Foster Freeze instead of their usual restaurant, IHOP. Although Sam found comfort in familiar routines, he agreed because he wanted to make his daughter happy. After they arrived, Lucy happily chose her meal. When it was Sam's turn to order, he asked for the same breakfast he always enjoyed at IHOP. The employee politely explained that the restaurant didn't serve that dish. Confused and frustrated, Sam raised his voice, drawing the attention of everyone nearby. Instead of reacting harshly, the employee remained calm and offered to speak with the chef to see what could be done. Lucy quietly lowered her head. She loved her father dearly, but moments like this reminded her that he was different from other parents. Not long afterward, Lucy's birthday finally arrived. Wanting to make the day special, Sam organized a small birthday party and invited all of his closest friends. Randy Carpenter and his father also came to celebrate. Among the guests was Margaret Calgrove, the social worker who had been observing Sam's situation. At first, everything seemed perfect. Then the atmosphere suddenly changed. Randy began making cruel remarks about Sam, and before long an argument broke out. In the heat of the confrontation, Randy cruelly shouted that Sam wasn't Lucy's real father and had no right to call himself her dad. The words hit Sam like a knife. Lucy stood frozen, unable to believe what she had just heard. After witnessing the entire incident, Margaret became even more concerned about Lucy's future. She concluded that Sam might not be capable of raising a child on his own. Soon afterward, the court decided that Lucy would be placed in temporary foster care while a full evaluation of Sam's parenting abilities was carried out. For Sam, it was the most devastating moment of his life. The following day he appeared before the court, where officials explained that if he wanted to regain custody of Lucy, he would first have to pass a series of psychological and parenting evaluations. Until then he would only be allowed to visit his daughter for 2 hours each week. Sam pleaded with them not to take Lucy away. But the decision had already been made. With nowhere else to turn, he sought advice from his closest friends. After discussing every possible option, they all reached the same conclusion. Sam needed a lawyer. Determined to fight for his daughter, he searched through a phone directory until he found a law office. There, he met Rita Harrison, one of the city's most respected attorneys. Rita had built a reputation for being brilliant, confident, and fiercely professional. However, behind her successful career, her personal life was far from perfect. Sam showed her photographs of Lucy and poured out his heart, begging for help. It didn't take long for Rita to realize that Sam could never afford her legal fees. Instead of rejecting him outright, she gently explained that she would try to find another attorney who might be willing to take his case. Believing every word she said, Sam sincerely thanked her before quietly leaving the office. As he walked away, hope was the only thing keeping him moving forward. But neither Sam nor Rita realized. Their lives were about to change forever. Determined to bring Lucy home, Sam refused to give up. After meeting Rita, he returned to work at the coffee shop with a new sense of purpose. Believing that a higher salary would help him fight for custody, Sam asked his manager to promote him to a barista position. Although his manager admired Sam's honesty, loyalty, and dedication, he gently explained that Sam wasn't ready for the responsibilities that came with the job. Even after the disappointment, Sam never lost hope. He continued waiting for news from Rita, convinced she would find another attorney willing to take his case. Days passed, then weeks, but no phone call ever came. Unable to wait any longer, Sam decided to visit Rita's office himself. When they met, he politely asked if she had found someone who could represent him. Caught off guard, Rita hesitated and simply asked him to be patient a little longer. At that moment, one of her co-workers walked by and casually asked who Sam was. Not wanting to embarrass him, or herself, Rita answered without thinking. "He's my client." Her colleagues exchanged surprised looks. They all knew Rita as a lawyer who carefully chose her cases, especially those that could enhance her already successful career. Taking on someone like Sam seemed completely out of character. A few days later, Sam was finally allowed to visit Lucy again. Unfortunately, unexpected delays at work and transportation problems caused him to arrive more than an hour late. Even so, Lucy never stopped believing that her father would come. And she was right. Sam came running toward her with a birthday cake in his hands. But in his rush, he stumbled and dropped it onto the ground. The cake was ruined. Lucy didn't care. The moment she saw her father, she ran into his arms with the biggest smile on her face. For those precious 2 hours, nothing else mattered. They laughed, talked, and treasured every second they had together. Sam told Lucy about Rita and explained that she might be able to help them become a family again. Lucy smiled and gave him an answer that warmed his heart. No matter what happened, she would never accept anyone else as her father. To her, there had only ever been one dad, and his name was Sam. Before long, their visit came to an end, forcing them to say another painful goodbye. The following day, Sam returned to Rita's office. This time, he couldn't hide his emotions any longer. He poured out his heart, telling her how much he loved Lucy and how desperately he wanted to bring her home. As fate would have it, one of Rita's co-workers made a sarcastic remark. He questioned why a successful attorney would waste her time on someone who couldn't even afford legal representation. His words struck a nerve. Determined to prove him wrong, Rita made a life-changing decision. She would personally represent Sam, and she would do it completely free of charge. Sam was speechless. He thanked her with tears in his eyes. After reviewing the case, however, Rita realized they had almost no time left before the next court hearing. Without wasting another moment, she drove Sam directly to the courthouse. There, he met with a psychologist assigned to evaluate whether he was capable of raising a child. Throughout the evaluation, Sam answered every question honestly. But because of his intellectual disability, he struggled to explain complicated thoughts and often misunderstood what was being asked. Unfortunately, many of his answers worked against him. While the evaluation was taking place, Rita searched for anyone who could testify on Sam's behalf. She first approached Sam's 4 closest friends. Although each of them genuinely cared about him, they also had intellectual disabilities, making it unlikely that the court would give much weight to their testimony. Next, Rita visited Sam's manager at the coffee shop. Sadly, he refused to become involved in the custody battle. Her final hope was Annie. Knowing how important her testimony could be, Rita asked her to appear in court. But Annie suffered from severe agoraphobia and couldn't bring herself to leave her apartment. One by one, every opportunity seemed to disappear. Even so, the trial moved forward. On the day of the hearing, Sam's 4 friends proudly arrived outside the courthouse carrying handmade signs that read, "Free Lucy's dad." Their unwavering support touched everyone who saw them. Inside the courtroom, the psychologist testified that Sam lacked the abilities necessary to raise a child independently. It was a devastating setback. But Rita refused to surrender. Standing before the judge, she delivered a passionate defense. She spoke about Sam's unwavering love, his endless sacrifices, and the extraordinary devotion he had shown Lucy every single day of her life. Her words filled the courtroom with emotion. Even the psychologist appeared moved. After the hearing ended, Sam wanted to thank Rita for everything she had done. He invited her to have a meal with him. She politely declined. Instead, Rita reminded him that he didn't need to repay her or pretend to be someone he wasn't. For a brief moment, her words hurt him. Then Sam quietly looked into her eyes and spoke from the heart. He didn't want people to see his disability. He simply wanted them to see the truth. That despite his limitations, he loved Lucy with all his heart. And he truly believed he could still be the father she deserved. But proving that to the court would be far more difficult than either of them had imagined. A few days later, Sam and Lucy were finally allowed to spend another precious 2-hour visit together. After chatting for a while, Lucy excitedly told her father that they had permission to visit a nearby park. Happy to spend time with his daughter, Sam gladly agreed, and the two boarded a bus together. But once they arrived, Lucy refused to get off. Instead, she wrapped her arms around her father and tearfully begged him to take her away. She wanted them to disappear somewhere far from everyone else, a place where no one could ever separate them again. Hearing those words shattered Sam's heart. He held Lucy tightly as she cried herself to sleep in his arms. More than anything, Sam wanted to grant her wish. But deep down, he knew that running away would only make things worse. If they fled, he might lose the chance to see Lucy forever. After she finally fell asleep, Sam made the painful decision to bring her back. By the time they returned, it was already 3 o'clock in the morning. The social workers were furious. Although Sam had returned Lucy voluntarily and never intended to kidnap her, they viewed his actions as reckless and irresponsible. Margaret immediately argued that Sam should no longer be allowed to visit Lucy. Fortunately, Rita stepped forward before the decision became final. She reminded everyone that Sam had willingly brought Lucy back on his own and asked the court to consider his intellectual disability before judging his actions too harshly. Her calm and persuasive argument eventually eased the tension. Margaret reluctantly agreed to give Sam another chance. Not long afterward, Lucy was asked to speak about her relationship with her father. Without hesitation, she described how deeply Sam loved her, how he cared for her every single day, and how safe she always felt whenever she was with him. Then she looked at everyone in the room and said she wanted to live with her father forever. Wanting to help him win the case, Lucy even exaggerated a few details. But Sam couldn't accept that. No matter how desperately he wanted his daughter back, he refused to let her lie for his sake. As the custody battle dragged on, Sam slowly lost hope. Every evening, he sat quietly beside his window, praying that Lucy would someday come home again. The loneliness became almost unbearable. Watching from across the hall, Annie could clearly see how much he was suffering. Unable to ignore his pain any longer, she made a courageous decision. Despite her severe agoraphobia, Annie chose to face her greatest fear and testify for Sam in court. The following morning, she arrived at the courthouse. When Sam saw her walk through the doors, he could hardly believe his eyes. He welcomed her with heartfelt gratitude. When Annie took the witness stand, she spoke honestly about the kind of father Sam truly was. She described his kindness, his patience, and the unconditional love he had always shown Lucy. For a brief moment, it seemed as though her testimony might finally change everything. Then the opposing attorney began questioning her about her own father. The painful memories came flooding back. Overwhelmed by emotion, Annie broke down in tears. She struggled to continue speaking and eventually lost her train of thought. In an instant, the strongest witness on Sam's side had fallen apart. After court, Sam and Rita drove Annie safely back home. Later that day, Rita invited Sam to visit her house. There he met her young son, Willie. The boy sat alone in front of the television, quietly entertaining himself. Because both of his parents devoted so much time to their careers, Willie had grown distant and emotionally disconnected from them. Seeing their relationship made Sam realize something. Although Rita was successful, respected, and financially secure, she was struggling to build the kind of bond with her son that Sam shared naturally with Lucy. That evening, Rita began preparing Sam for the next court hearing. She coached him on how to answer difficult questions more effectively. But Sam refused to memorize answers that weren't true. He insisted on telling the truth, no matter the consequences. Respecting his honesty, Rita changed her approach. Instead of teaching him what to say, she helped him express what he genuinely felt. Together, they practiced late into the night. As they talked about family, love, and parenthood, the two gradually formed a friendship built on mutual respect. Before Sam left, Rita handed him one of her husband's suit jackets so he could make a better impression in court. Sam accepted the gift with sincere gratitude. The following morning brought unexpected good news. Back at the coffee shop, Sam's manager finally promoted him to the position of barista. Overjoyed, Sam couldn't stop smiling. He hugged his manager and eagerly began learning his new responsibilities. But the cafe was unusually busy. Trying his best to keep up, Sam accidentally operated one of the coffee machines incorrectly. Hot coffee splashed across his clothes, leaving large stains on his shirt. There wasn't enough time to go home and change. So he rushed straight to the courthouse wearing the stained uniform. The opposing attorney noticed his appearance immediately. To him, it was the perfect opportunity to portray Sam as careless, disorganized, and unfit to care for a child. Fortunately, Rita calmly welcomed Sam, helped him settle down, and guided him into the courtroom. Now, the future of Sam and Lucy's family rested on one final hearing. And every word Sam spoke could decide whether they would be reunited or separated forever. However, because Sam was unable to prove to the court that he could properly take care of Lucy, the judge eventually decided to place Lucy with Mrs. Carpenter's family temporarily. This decision broke Sam's heart, because he never wanted to be separated from the daughter he loved more than anything. Unable to accept being far away from Lucy, Sam decided to move closer to the Carpenter family so he could still be a part of his daughter's life. Even though they could no longer live together like before, being near Lucy was all that mattered to him. Sam continued to show his love and dedication, proving that he was a father who would never give up on his daughter. No matter how hard the situation was, Lucy also refused to let their bond disappear. She kept finding ways to see her father. Almost every night, she quietly climbed out of her bedroom window, crossed over to Sam's apartment, and spent as much time with him as she could. Neither of them realized that someone had been watching all along. Mrs. Carpenter noticed everything. Night after night, she watched Lucy risk sneaking out just to be with her father. It left her heartbroken. Mrs. Carpenter had a safe home, financial stability, and everything society believed a child needed. Yet despite all of that, Lucy still longed to be with Sam. Hoping to keep her safe, Mrs. Carpenter had metal bars installed on Lucy's bedroom window. She believed it would finally stop her from sneaking out. But Lucy refused to give up. One evening, she quietly walked downstairs and tried leaving through the front door instead. Before she could leave, Mrs. Carpenter was already waiting. Instead of scolding her, Mrs. Carpenter smiled gently and handed her a slice of cake. She softly explained that Lucy never needed to lie or run away. "If you want to see your father," she said, "all you have to do is ask." From that moment on, Mrs. Carpenter's perspective slowly began to change. The more she witnessed the love between Sam and Lucy, the more she realized that their bond couldn't be measured by intelligence, money, or social status. It was built entirely on unconditional love. A few days later, Rita arrived at Sam's apartment with her son Willie. With the final hearing only days away, she wanted to help Sam prepare as much as possible. 4 hours, Rita coached him on how to stay calm and answer difficult questions with confidence. She also brought him a suit jacket to wear in court. Sam thanked her sincerely. Then, to his surprise, Rita thanked him in return. Through Sam and Lucy, she had finally discovered something she had been missing in her own life. For years, she had believed that success was measured by winning cases and building a successful career. But Sam had shown her something far more important. The true meaning of unconditional love between a parent and a child. That night, Sam carefully hung the suit beside his bed. He could barely sleep, knowing that the next morning might determine the rest of his life. Then, a knock echoed through his apartment. When Sam opened the door, he stood frozen in disbelief. Standing outside was Mrs. Carpenter. In her arms was Lucy. With tears filling her eyes, Mrs. Carpenter gently placed Lucy into Sam's arms. She admitted something she had finally come to accept. No matter how hard she tried, she could never replace Lucy's father. Lucy belonged with Sam. And the next day, Mrs. Carpenter promised she would tell the judge exactly that. Sam was overcome with emotion. Words couldn't express how grateful he felt. As Mrs. Carpenter turned to leave, Sam quietly stopped her. Then he said something that touched her deeply. He had always wished Lucy could grow up with a loving mother. And if there was anyone he trusted to fill that role, it was Mrs. Carpenter. Unable to hold back her tears, Mrs. Carpenter smiled and accepted with all her heart. The day of the final hearing finally arrived. After listening to every witness and carefully reviewing the case, the judge reached a decision. The court recognized something many people had overlooked from the very beginning. Although Sam faced intellectual challenges, his love, dedication, and commitment as a father had never wavered. In the end, custody of Lucy was returned to Sam. At the same time, Mrs. Carpenter remained an important part of Lucy's life, continuing to support and care for her as a loving mother figure. For the first time, everyone had found a way to put Lucy's happiness first. The film ends with a heartwarming scene at one of Lucy's soccer games. Standing proudly on the sidelines are all the people who never gave up on Sam. His 4 loyal friends, Annie, Rita, Willie, Mrs. Carpenter, and, of course, Sam himself. As the match continues, Lucy scores a beautiful goal. Sam leaps to his feet, cheering louder than anyone else in the crowd. His face is filled with pride, joy, and relief. After everything they had endured, their family finally feels complete again. And with that unforgettable moment, the story of I Am Sam comes to a close. I Am Sam is far more than a courtroom drama. It's the story of a father whom society underestimated because of his intellectual disability. Yet despite every obstacle placed in his path, his love for his daughter never wavered. Throughout the film, Sam teaches us that being a great parent isn't defined by intelligence, wealth, education, or social status. A truly great parent is measured by love, sacrifice, patience, responsibility, and unwavering commitment. Ironically, while many people pitted Sam for what he lacked, he possessed something countless others were searching for. Loyal friends who stood beside him through every hardship. A daughter who loved him without conditions. A community that believed in him when he needed it most. Meanwhile, Rita had wealth, success, and an impressive career. Yet she struggled to build the same emotional connection with her own son. The film reminds us that appearances can be deceiving. The people we envy may be fighting battles we know nothing about. And the blessings we already have are often far more valuable than we realize. In the end, Sam never became the smartest father. He never became the richest. He never became the most successful. But he became something far more important. A father who loved his daughter with every part of his heart. And sometimes, that's all a child truly needs. If you enjoyed this recap, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you won't miss our next movie recap. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.